Okay, let's go. Cadena.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh. You're on Reboot or you're...
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah, NA or EU? That's what I wanted to ask. Sorry. NA, okay. Good. Good start. All right. Just kidding. And how's it going? How's Cadena going? How far have you gotten? What are you enjoying? What are you enjoying a little bit less?
Cadena best class.
Yeah?
That's how we start. Yeah. Like when I started playing Cadena,
Mm-hmm.
after I hit like 225, I couldn't play other classes because they're boring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just only Cadena. And training Legion became hard because it's just a pain.
Mm-hmm. But I assume that you have a decent Legion, right? Because these are pretty big
Yes.
numbers. Yeah.
6k.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I just got it to 6k yesterday.
Nice.
I don't have enough
Congrats.
coins to level it up.
I see. Well, that probably means you're grinding hard on the Cadena, right?
Yeah, I hit 250 last week.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, it's been a grind, and I'm practicing Hard Lucid with my Lucid party. We got to phase 3 for the first time yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but 4 people died out, so I didn't have enough damage to clear.
I was gonna say how many people made it though. Yeah. Okay, 4. All right. All right. Next week.
So I was one of them, so
Yeah,
that's,
okay.
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we'll practice again and
Yeah.
see if we can get further.
What kills people mostly? Is it like dragons in phase 1?
No, our phase 1 is pretty good. We have like a dual blade Cadena and Thunderbreaker, so our golem clears really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly the just stuff in phase 2, like sickles while dragon is coming or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Random stuff.
You have to die to a bunch of those things to kind of figure out how can you immune that. Also learning how to be a little bit more conservative with your iframes. In the beginning you're just like, oh, pop iframe, and then a situation comes like, oh, I really need an iframe now, but now it's on cooldown. So you learn how to really like suss out more which situations are really iframe worthy and which ones are not. And as everyone in the party gets better with that, your survivability should get a lot better. Because ideally, like in phase 1, it's not bad if you die like 3 or 4 times, because if you're unlucky with golems landing on your head or something, or with dragons teleporting you, and that kind of stuff. But in phase 2, you should really not die more than once, maybe twice tops, to some unlucky situations, because with iframes, with dashes, with going to the right situations early on, really the only thing that can really be bad is like a laser during dragon, and that's it. The only other thing.
Yeah.
Even Tohos shouldn't kill you, but they will happen disproportionately if you're still, kind of, once people start dying out, or if you're not that fast on the damage yet, because you won't be able to get your cleanse before the room just fills up with butterflies. So I assume it's also a bunch of Tohos.
No, not really.
Not really? Okay, that's good.
When it is, we have one guy that is like, he's playing on an alt account and he has a lot of experience with Taos.
Mm-hmm.
So we just follow him.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. That's what I did for my party. I don't know if you see my runs, right? Nikki always followed me around. And now she doesn't need to anymore. Now she knows where to go. Yeah. If you have the harder pattern, though, sometimes people still get hit. Because you have to, like, move while the balls are coming. If you just stand still, you kind of die. So you have to move a little bit. That could be a bit trickier. But, yeah, as people suss out where they need to use the iframes and when they can save them, then survivability will get a lot better. And then...
for my club, that's really difficult, because my Cadena iframe
is your bind.
It's my bind, so I need a golem or.
Oh, you need a target. Yeah, true.
Yeah, you need a target. So iframing isn't that. I'm always a Night Lord, like your other iframe.
Mm-hmm.
So difficult.
Yeah, the one thing. So if you have lasers during dragon, right? Do you just pray, or what do you do? What's your plan?
I like to use all my abilities and jump all around, because I'm Cadena. I fly around the entire map, hope I don't get hit.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed during lasers where it's safer to move less than to move a lot?
It depends on like if you get vertical or horizontal lasers for me. Like if there's mostly vertical, I just walk. If it's a lot of horizontal lasers, it's difficult to just walk. For me, at least. And then I mostly get hit. Those are the lasers that I die from. If there's vertical, I almost never die. But,
You can stay in the air a little bit longer, right? By like if like the flash jump and then the hook down, and then that refreshes your jumps.
Yeah, but EU ping
Yeah, it's easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like to do if the lasers come on dragon is, once you get used to the timing, what you can do is like do you have an up jump as a Cadena?
Nope.
You don't, right? Yeah,
You have like 4 abilities that move you up, but not like straight up, like at an angle.
The-
You could dodge.
No, there's nothing that gets you straight. The dagger, no, dagger doesn't move you straight up.
Like a tiny bit.
Yeah, like a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, what I always like to do is like jump first for the first laser, so that even if it's a horizontal, it's above me, and you can duck underneath. But you have to like time it perfectly to when the first laser comes up, and then if there's a few, side ones, then you can use your space to move to the left side of the platform, and then by the time, if you get more horizontal or more vertical ones there, then you'll be able to move down already. Because then the dragon is actually not there for that long. I think it's only like 2 full seconds that the breath happens or something. Maybe 2.5 or something. It's pretty short. But yeah, like that's the one thing that honestly, if you die to that, that's whatever. Or like bombs and everyone's grouped together, and then she sickles right on top of you where you're grouping for the bombs, and the golem lands and destroys the platform at once or something. Like if that kills you, like that's gonna kill you. that kills people who have like 300 runs done. So that's not something to feel bad about. But yeah, if the more people start getting better, you'll probably. Is everyone else around your level, or because your character seems pretty strong?
Yeah, we have like
right?
247 guys. Most of the guys are like around 35k stat, 30 to 35k.
Okay.
We calculated and we should have the damage to clear phase 3, but it's in theory. We haven't gotten there yet. So.
Okay. And then is the idea once you clear that to also start trying will, or?
Once everyone hit 250, we'll start practicing.
Okay, nice. I mean, if the lowest is 247, that's honestly, you can already start practicing, right? Because the mechanics are the hardest. It's not really a huge damage check, it's more a mechanics check.
Okay.
So the sooner you start the sooner you get it to phase 2 and start failing that, the sooner you can get past that. Because you're going to need to, as a party, usually you fail like 3 or 4 phase 2s in the beginning until you get through it. You just have to get used to the timing, and then once you do, it's like super easy.
Okay.
Again, there's some things that could go wrong, right? Some things can go horribly wrong, but then that happens to everyone, and then it's not just you being bad, it's just the game just being weird, I guess.
That's fun as well.
Yeah. You learn how to play around the game mechanics, yeah. And then if you make that during a situation like that, it feels even better, right? Because the game like gives you lemons, and then you turn it into a boss clear. That's always good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like the short-term goal, right? Do you have like a long-term aspirations to go beyond and into new areas and level even past 250?
I really want to get to 60 by the time Neo hits for the new areas. Okay. I want to be there for the new content.
Yeah, get the authentic power and the new power spike.
And my really long-term goal is like soloing Hard Lotus. That's really far away.
Okay, let's get you there. How's that that specific Nova 5th job skill? That's like a door, right?
Yeah.
Is it basically just a door and a full map clear, and that's it? With long cooldown?
Yeah, you mainly use it as a door. You don't really use it as a full map clear because the cooldown is 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, you don't waste a slot on it, is what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's while training. While I'm bossing, I use it so because you can use it when you enter, and like our boss fights are like 20 minutes for Hard Lucid. So I can use it the second time around the start of phase 2 or 3.
It goes on cooldown when it gets used?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't like use it 20 minutes before, then go in, and then use it immediately.
You should be able to, but like it only stays for I don't know. Let me check. It stays for 720 seconds, so like 12 minutes, and then it goes away after that, and it has a 20-minute cooldown.
Oh yeah. So the highest you could possibly have it is like the lowest you could possibly have it is like 8-minute cooldown, but that means you would have to like throw a life away immediately to be able to use it after 8 minutes.
So the most reasonable is like 12 minutes.
Yeah, probably. Something like that. Yeah, okay. Okay. I mean, everything else with Matrix, I believe you have all figured out, right?
Yeah. And I believe I have perfect try notes, but I got all my skills 60, so.
Yeah, as long as that's all 60, doesn't really matter what order it's all in. So what's the deal with speed infusion? Do you not need it?
We have a party member that has it.
Right. You have the Thunderbreaker? Okay.
Yeah, and I also don't need Sharp Eyes, because we have a Bowmaster as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I have too many slots, so...
So for Lucid, use the True Arachnid Reflection then, or?
Yeah, I got even more slots now, because this is from last week, when I was still 249.
I see.
I got one more.
Have you incorporated Rope Lift? Is it ever enough value to use it instead of the chain you already have?
I use it while training for some maps, but I'm so used to the chain that I don't really need it in boss fights.
Yeah, okay.
I never miss the platforms that I'm aiming for.
It reminds me of was it Glory or Rise when there was like that mini game where you had to pick the golden flowers and you had to like hookshot up. Do you remember that?
It's a really long time ago.
It was a summer or winter event. There was like a bunch of platforms and you had like a chain and then you had to hook and then let go and hook and let go. And then in the beginning it was like very difficult to get the right things. And then if you hit like a wrong flower, you got sent back to the bottom. And it was like a bonus, I think, for extra points for your daily cap, I think.
I always just kill mobs for my daily cap.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there was like extra bonuses if you did like a minimum amount of all of those separate things. So you could get like a special reward, but it wasn't super crazy or anything. Kind of reminds me of that. Like in the beginning, it's so hard and you feel like every single thing you do misses. But then once you get used to it, like you can't even miss even if you're trying to anymore because you're just like bang, 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 bang. You just get so good at it. Like you just see where to go and how to move through the map, you know?
Yeah, you see the angles.
Yeah, exactly. The perfect angle. Okay. So what are you leveling now? Is it like what is this called again? It's not Prepare to Die. What is it called? Last Resort? Final Resort?
I maxed the one skill you see on the 7th slot. I maxed it just yesterday. So that time is like way higher.
That's the full map with the extra chains. Yeah.
And now I don't know what to max. I'm just doing whatever I get and like saving up.
I guess if bursting through phase 3 for Lucid is like your next goal, then I guess the Goddess Blessing and the Last Resort will bring in the most value, right?
Okay.
But if you have experience nodes, then I would throw them on the True Arachnid Reflection because everything else is already so high. That the best value is probably on the Arachnid Reflection. I don't know if you've already bought them from the shop or not. But.
Nope. Still have like 7k coins waiting to spend them.
Yeah, it's good to have to keep them as long as you don't have like a specific plan on what to use them on. Okay. And the poison DOT, like that actually does something for you? Because I know for a lot of classes it's like, eh.
We have this skill in 3rd job that gives us extra crit chance and crit damage, depending on the amount of debuffs on the enemy, and this actually counts as a debuff.
Right.
And Mage Link also counts as a debuff.
Yep. And then you have, what is it, like the Scimitar, the Dagger, the...
Yeah, you have a Confusion debuff.
Yeah, Bleed.
All these strange debuffs.
Yeah, it's strange names that only Cadena has, basically.
Yeah.
If you have a Kana and a Cadena in a party, all of the debuffs are like fighting to be on top of the boss, and then you have like one debuff as your own class, and you're like looking if it's still there or not. You just use it. You use it like 3 times as much as you need to to make sure it's still there. Yeah. They really need to change how that. Yeah.
It's quite difficult to check if all my debuffs are on the boss.
Yeah, exactly. We need to put all the debuffs on the bottom left of the HP bar of the boss instead, with like little icons that blink like every other MMO ever, instead of instead of like fighting and only 4 or 5 can be above the boss at the same time. It's it's not very efficient.
No, that's true.
But yeah, Matrix. Other than that, Matrix seems fine. So how are you getting your? Because you have 0 on crit. So where are you getting your 100% crit rate? So that's from the debuff.
And we have this one hyper skill gives 10%, and the base is really high. You have a lot of passives that give you like 30%.
Okay, but the hyper is not very high uptime, right?
No, but you need 88% to be at 100%, while there's 4 debuffs applied.
Mm-hmm. Is that the max
So
it stacks up to, or?
You can get to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, you should be able to get away with like 84 or something.
6, 2. Wait, is it 2 per? 3 per? 18? So with 82?
88 is max on 6 debuffs, so it's 2 per debuff.
Oh, okay, 2 per. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Mm-hmm.
And like you have 5 debuffs of your own, I think. And like the one from 5th job, the poison, and the
so you have 7.
Mage, so 7.
Yeah. So if one falls off, you still keep. Yeah, okay. So as soon as you see like a non-crit number, you're like, oh, need to press some buttons.
Yeah. You always press every single button because everything has cooldown. So
yeah, it's like early game arc where you have to. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But like when I'm training, it's quite difficult because like the mobs die so fast that you can't apply debuffs. So sometimes you don't crit, but they still die. So I'm like, does it really matter that I'm not critting?
Once your arcane power and your boost nodes are so high, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, at a certain point, I think when I'm training also, I stop using it's mainly important for characters that have little after image that they rely on the kill speed for. So like if your assassin's marks, they always need to crit, right? Because if those don't crit, then there's a very high chance that they don't kill at all, or the spell bullets from arc, those kind of things, those always have to crit. So to make sure that those keep one-shotting, then you have to make sure you keep 100% crit. But if your main attacks are the only thing that gives you kills, I mean, I can understand that you wouldn't even pop like decent speed infusion when you're doing rotating on the map because it just slows you down. You don't need the kill speed from it. It depends on if you can reliably one-shot without these when you're in drop rate gear, then yeah, just don't use them in your rotation. You can get one extra attack in every X amount of time, and in the long term it'll just be more efficient. Same reason that you don't use like Last Resort of Goddess Blessing or something when you're mobbing, right? Because it just makes you kill even harder. I
don't even have to slot it while I'm mobbing.
Yeah, you can swap it with some weird shit. Is decent combat orders good at all for Cadena?
I don't know. I haven't really tried using it.
You don't have one, right?
No.
Usually I advise people to just get one and just use it and then see what it does to your 4th job. Do you have a lot of... Because I assume you have quite some passives in your 4th job, right?
Yeah, no, like 3.
Well, also your active. Wait. It also empowers your active, but not everything can go past the max. So your main attacks usually get. Which one of your attacks are 4th job?
Only brick and bat.
Brick and bat. Okay. These commodores is kind of meh on Cadena. But if he's mobbing and then you take the blessing, the final resort, probably the poison debuff and the full map attack away, and you add True Ragnar Reflection, Rope Lift, Speed Infusion, and Holy Symbol. Is that the switch you do?
Yeah.
And now you have one extra, right? So what do you put in the last slot?
Urda, just to have something. Urda is like the same as my 160 hyper.
Yeah.
So it's nice if that's on cooldown. You could just rotate them.
Yeah, I guess it's not useful yet because if you can kill without decent combat orders, you can kill with. Like that wouldn't be the difference maker. Yeah, it's more for bossing when you gain like 10 or 15 more levels. Then you can start squeezing it in. I guess that's when you have the room for it because then it does something more than like equipping rope lift for the all stat. You know, like that's the because that's almost the level that you're at some point. That's what people start min-maxing with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when they're like 270, 275, and they go to a party, and then someone has Sharp Eyes, like, oh, yes, now I can use my level 25 rope lift node for 25 all stat. And it's like, damn.
Great.
Yeah, but that's really people who, like, 100% just main one character, and they have the amount of nodes to do that. I don't think I'll ever dedicate to one character so much that I'll ever have the capacity to do that, because it'll just be very inefficient. I'll just rather throw it on another character, but some people go hard, you know?
Yeah, I got like a shit ton of notes from the event earlier this year from the... What's it called?
Oh, Endless Night?
Spirit.
Yeah, the Endless Night event, yeah.
I needed to get my arcane symbols up, because they're all really low. I was out leveling them, so I was like, yeah, I'll just do this. I got like 1200 notes or something. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy numbers, yeah. Well, it really helped with maxing out the boost nodes, I assume.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, but matrix-wise, that pretty much takes care of that, right? So is your link skill set up for bossing?
Yeah.
And what are your other options? This is for party bossing, so you have Noble Fire, and then if you're solo bossing, do you swap it out with anything else?
Yeah, I do. I'll swap it out, let me check. The arc links.
Right. Because I would put the arc as one of your base link skills that you would always have. Because it just be in combat, right? And you're always in combat.
Yeah.
So I would put it over something like elementalism very easily. But let's look at all of them for bossing. You want the Night's Watch because you can get knocked around if you're not like comboing things, right?
Yeah, especially in Lotus, or Lucid, and Lucid
well,
is
both of them, but yeah.
if you both. But Lotus is like not that difficult now because I'm strong enough to like kill him pretty fast. In, like, 2 bursts. So.
Spirit, and that's matched to hit 100% critical rate with your with the 12 stack debuff and Sharp Eyes.
What? What did you say?
So with the 12% from the 6 stacks and the wait, the stacks that gives you on hit the extra percentage, right?
Yeah, they don't visually get added to the stats.
So you go for 100% when you're mobbing, and do you stay below 100% when you're bossing, or do you just try to aim for 100% always?
I'm at 100% in this screenshot because of my level 140 hyper, and I have some familiars that give crit rate that are added.
Okay, and the 140 hyper that gives 10, right?
Yeah, it gives 10. I'm at 88 without them.
Okay.
Without the familiars and the skill.
Right. Okay, we'll check the familiars then later. Because one option that I see, I'll check the links real quick, but because for some reason all of the links don't go into my head. Because would definitely throw in the Solus, definitely throw in the Arc link. I mean, in this setup, it would. I don't know if the Rin's Blessing is good enough for you to be in here. Have you used any kind of calculator to see if that one is better or not?
My IED is really low, like from Cadena's base, so you need a lot of IED sources. I'm using an IED secondary and IED familiars in this screenshot, and I'm still only at 98.
Well, you say only at 98. 98 is really, really high.
Yeah, I know, but still. Like, I have 2 secondaries. One is attack and the other one is IED. I want to stop using the IED ones, so I'm trying to find different sources of IED to be able to get rid of it.
Okay.
Because, yeah, less lines I have to commit to IED, the more damage I will do, probably. That's what I thought.
It's just that one source of 10% IED. So if you're at 98 visual, that probably means that functionally you're probably over 99. If you lose one line of 10% on a 99, it's possible that you just stay at 99. You don't even go down.
Okay.
Because of the calculation, right?
Yeah.
So, well, we can throw your stuff into like a calculator and see where you end up at. But I think... Have you ever thrown it into like a big calculator that looks at all of the possible scenarios and like the outcomes and stuff?
I have this calculator of like the Maple Discord, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Got love built in, and it says I'm lower than I am in game, which I don't really understand.
It says
It says
that
I'm
you're
at like 92 without familiars, and like in game it says I'm 93 without familiars. So I'm really confused.
So maybe there's a source that's lacking.
I guess, but I don't know. I wouldn't know what. Like when I fill in like an extra 10%, like in the bottom, an additional ID. It gets corrected, but I don't know where it's coming from. I've looked all over my skills, but I have no clue.
Let's see if you can do like a quick. Your Lumi is level 2, right?
Yeah.
Hyperstats 11 is 33. I believe.
Yeah. Let me get the calculator.
I think you have an Abzo weapon with 10.
I got the Blaster level, Blaster 5 Legion. Crit 30%.
Blaster. Beast Tamer.
This
It's
3
fine.
ID. It's level 140. Oh wait, that's 120. Right?
Is it 2%?
And it's 3%.
Oh yeah, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Is your ambition maxed?
Yes, it is.
Monster Park medal?
Not yet. 2 more weeks.
Okay. And then Galax set. Superior? Yeah.
3 pieces.
And how much in your Legion?
30%.
Okay.
I'm getting 30% from one passive skill. Second your passive. And then another 10 and 20%, which I just added in here because to get to the
because
to
you
the
have
number
them?
that to get to the number that I get in game, but I don't know what they're coming from.
Okay, let's see.
Wait, I got my ID sub equipped here, which 135 line and 130.
Right now you have Rins, gives you 10. That's 10, right? I believe. At level 5? Do you remember bonus? Your link skills? Rin's Blessing?
Oh, yeah. That gives 15. Oh,
15.
10.
10.
15 reduced damage.
Yeah, okay. And in the picture you have from your Legion you have 30 or?
Yeah, I'm on my training Legion.
Okay, in the picture. Okay.
Bonus XP one.
Yeah. And then it was with 2 familiars?
Yeah.
Both 15 or does one have higher?
No, they're both 30.
Ah, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, they're both 30. Yeah, I got a lot of familiars farms like in the time before it got disabled.
And some new ones I saw as well.
Yeah, some new ones.
You don't hit any. No, you don't hit any boss accessory set combo. Any other set bonuses that you can see that might fill in the gap?
Absolute, is that already in there?
For the weapon 10? Is it set bonus also 10?
10 for my set bonus from 4 set.
And then where's your secondary?
It's 35 and 30 ID.
Oof, that's a lot.
Oh, and there's 30 on my emblem as well.
And there's 30 on your emblem.
Yeah. That's what I thought, like, I have way too many IED lines.
Uh-huh.
And I want to get rid of some.
Yep. That's probably what we're going to focus on. I end up with 98.5 visual.
Okay. And that's probably what it is in-game. Because it says 98 and in-game is rounded down, right?
Yes, yeah, round it down, and you don't. He ignores all the defense almost, yeah. So then we have your boost nodes, comes on top of this. Would be another 10. Sorry, another 20. And then you have Explorer Mage for another 9. And if you get the Monster Parker medal, that's another 10. So you'll be functionally solo at 99.02.
Yes, that's quite high.
That is really fucking high. So if we just say, like, what if we rerolled all of the ones you had, right? Like, let's take away your secondary now completely, okay? We'll take away a 35. So you take away the 35, it's only 0.5% that you lose. You see that?
Yeah.
Lose the other 30%, you're still at 97.84 functional solo.
Okay. Yeah, so I could switch to my other one.
You probably could really super hard switch right now, yeah.
Okay.
What is the other one you have? What is the
18 attack, 35 boss.
18 attack, 35 oh yeah, I would switch to that in a heartbeat, yeah. They'll make your damage go up by a lot. Like, if you want to be like functionally at 98, if you're doing like Black Mage, that's probably a good number to be at. That's essentially what you're going to be at. Oh, and we haven't even dipped into, and the other things that will get added is your Beast Tamer will go up to 5. And then your Legion will go up to 40. Oh. And then your Lumi will go up to 20. And then functionally you'll be at 98.3 by yourself. So say we even re-rolled out of the line on your... and then we take Rins out, right? At that point, even if you take either your emblem or a familiar out, you'll still be at 97.3 functional by yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think
is... roll my emblem, and there's 21 attack, 30 ID.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna touch that for a while.
Yeah, so I think... I think you could switch out the secondary for sure now, and you can even think about switching out one of your familiars for a boss even, and that would probably still increase your damage. Because that will allow you to reroll your weapon for pure attack instead of relying on 2 lines of boss for that one.
Yeah, okay.
That will end up... because there's a 20% boss line there, right? Which is kind of like...
Yeah.
It's kind of like half a line.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you want to min-max that later. But I guess we'll look at if you want to min-max the potential on this later. If you want to go into Arcane, like what the... Because... if you guys are able to just Hard Lucid, I wouldn't say like go crazy on your weapon. I would definitely fix the emblem and the secondary situation. But for your weapon, well, not the emblem, sorry, just the secondary situation, I'd definitely switch over. But for your weapon, you could definitely keep this and then just pray for like a drop. Once you start doing the bosses more. But we'll get into that a little bit later once we like go full on equip advice itself.
Okay.
Yeah, but hopefully that, so this is the calculator I used. I don't know if it looks the same if you click it. I'll link it to you. It might look different when you click it, but I don't know. It'll probably, yeah, it'll reset to get the other numbers.
Yeah, I think it's just basic one, because it says arcane weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you could just click a source on the bottom to remove it, and that way you could very easily check, like, what am I left with once... once I switch stuff out. So yeah, these are good ass numbers that these are very, very solid. Do you have passive hyper skills even maybe? They give any IED?
Enemy hit. No.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one, but I don't have it. I don't use it.
Mm-hmm. Well, rightfully so. There's still there's still even a possibility for IED potions. There's IED maybe in the guild skill. Titles or event buffs could give more. Other party members could debuff possibly even more. I don't know what your current situation is, but for example, if you party with a zero gives another 50% IED line as well.
Okay.
Debuff. Paladin can give a 20%, 50% for like a little bit, and then that goes down to a 20% still. Demon Avengers can give a 30% debuff. Like, there's still a bunch of boss debuffs, so I think you're totally fine. Someone just posted a 33% strength Adele emblem. I mean, you take a screenshot if you roll into it, but you don't keep it. That's so unlucky.
33% emblem.
Yeah, someone got a 30% Dex Pathfinder emblem earlier as well. That's just painful to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, soul weapon, badge effects from the familiars, like all of those little bit things can still keep adding and adding.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say for so that gets rid of the Rin's blessing in favor of the arc as well, and that still keeps you on good IED.
Yeah. Then I can use something else instead of Noble Fire and solo bossing, like the Ilium, maybe.
You do move around a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's reliable. If it's reliable to keep up, then you can definitely use that one. Yeah, that'll probably be your best, your next best one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you're doing something where you want as much damage as possible, but there's no risk of dying, and maybe even Night's Watch and Spirit of Freedom aren't super important, like in Guild PQ or something, you can throw a little bit more damage in there even. I don't know if you have the...
I haven't run Guild PQ, but my guild runs them at like 5 AM in the morning.
Oh, there. Can you make it? It's reset +4. It's like, bro. Bro.
Like on a Sunday as well. Like,
yeah, Monday morning, 5 AM. Come on.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be possible. Just wake up early before work.
Nah. I like my sleep.
I'm good, fam.
But they know I'm EU based, so they don't care.
Okay. They don't care, yeah. Well, I mean, as long as there's like a few people. Once you get super strong, though, you can be like, hey, yo, if you switch the schedule a little bit, guys, I might be able to come with my 80 mil range, help you guys out a little bit. And they'll be like, ooh. Maybe they'll move around a little bit. But yeah, if you're the only one, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Okay, I'll skip over but that makes sense for the link skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that brings us into the familiars, since we did talk about those. So you use the crit rate familiars when you're mobbing, so you can keep 100% because you don't need the IED when you're mobbing, right?
Yeah, I have one that has 2 lines of crit rate. So that's the one I'm using. I don't know if it's in here.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, the boogie, 3 and 7. I have one. I think I have 2 like that as well on my arc, like 3 and 7. Yeah. It's always weird if the
one I use next to my meso and drop rate familiars when I'm training.
Right, and do you just like stack a bunch of them together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they work, so I was like, the more lines the better.
All right, let you explain. So every single line does represent a certain percentage. And then once you have conflicting lines that try to do the same thing, whatever gives the highest percentage works, and then the others don't. So if you summon all of these familiars, which I think you have one with... Yeah, you have one with both, and then another one with both, and then one with just... and then the crit rate one, right?
Yeah.
So if you look in the top right, when you have all of them summoned, you will only see 2 buffs. If all things are... Yeah, instead of 4, right? That you would expect. 4 would mean like all 4 of them are working, and you get all the buffs. So you only see 2. So what you see is the highest amount of meso drop rate increase and the highest amount of item drop rate among all your familiars. Those are the 2 that you see.
Okay.
And do you know how it works with... An item drop rate includes all items, including mesos. So the Meso drop rate one probably doesn't do anything because between drop rate in your equips and the drop rate familiar line, you already have 100% chance of dropping bags. So the Meso line doesn't even really do anything functionally. It just goes over 100%, but there are no more bags to be dropped, so it just stays at 100%. So it's probably increase the Meso drop rate by small. Increases the item Meso drop rate. Yeah, so it's the second line on your ferry, Dropmakker, that one, that is your best line. Increases item drop rate.
Okay. So that's the one I should choose.
Yeah, that one will also give you the highest drop rate increase when it comes to the symbols and the nodes and all that other stuff. So increases, it just says increase item drop rate. Yeah, so that's equivalent to a 50%. Or a 60% line, apparently. People don't really know. I think it's a 50% line.
Okay.
That's how you can count it. And then by small amount, it's typically a 30% if it's combined. And if it's by itself, it's a... If it just says increase item drop rate by a small amount... Oh, that's a 30%. And if it's a mixed both, then it's 20%. So if it's like, it says both, then it's always a smaller amount. But since you already get enough drop rate from your equips, you always want to go for, if you can choose only item drop as a line, that's always better. So the only thing that would be better is if you can get a increase item drop rate by a large amount one. That would be even better. Or increases item and Meso drop by a large amount. That would be, that's like the old spider. That would be a 60% equivalent. So that would be a small increase. Do you still have that one?
I still have old spider, yeah.
Okay, then spider would be the best one that you can use.
Okay.
Just spider. And then whatever you want to use next to your spider. So if you need the crit rate, use that one. And whatever you want to use besides that one would just be the one that has the most defense.
Would it be good to use like auto steal something while farming?
Yes, auto steal gives you a chance of extra bags that will just a net gain of money as well, if you can do that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got like a million extra familiars. Which
yeah, if you get something with some auto steal, that would be a good third option. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and then.
I got these healing familiars as well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just keep all of them, but I don't know which ones like do what.
For healing, I think they stack. Do you have the old old golem or old
No.
like zombie mushroom thing? Do you have any of those?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Got rid of those because I didn't think they were good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was the mutant snail? Mutant snail. That was the one.
Yeah, I had that one before.
Oh damn! You got rid of it. Unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's actually really good. Yeah. I believe that those stack, but they do have the tendency to clump up together. So if they would space out their healing, that would be insane, right? So you're just constantly getting a little bit, but they tend to all clump together where you don't get any healing for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then suddenly boom, you get like full HP. So
yeah, okay.
Especially if everyone,
body, like,
yeah. If everyone has like one IED familiar or one boss familiar and then 2 healers for something like Will in the beginning, will be very, very helpful for phase 2 specifically to stay alive longer and stuff. And then once everyone gets better, you could just rely on like 2 or 3 or 4 people having like one healing familiar, and then everyone else who does more damage can focus more on the IED and the boss damage, and then yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be like, yeah, you kind of like see how quickly you progress there. Okay, yeah, but if you still have a bunch of familiars left, can still try that. There's some nice ones, the ones with boss and critical rate on it. That's quite nice, especially since it's a 7 and a 5, so it's like the 12 together.
Yeah.
It's a perfect match. I have that on my...
I got really lucky with a few of my familiars to get 2 lines.
Yeah, none with like a 70 boss or something crazy like that, right?
They got all. I had these were like 40% before, but they got nerfed or something.
Oh yeah. They added those lines to unique, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Yeah, they did. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was intended in the beginning that those lines were there, but then they just realized how OP it was, and then they said it was unintended. Yeah. I think they were trying to like Save face. Item acquisition rate is a line that you can only get on unique, which does stack with drop rate, but it only gives you 10% extra. So it's very, very rare to get. So if you're looking at like the ideal situation and you get all of it, your ideal total drop rate will be like 464% plus the 20% unequipped drop rate from the greed pendant. But more realistic is something for training is like 244, bossing 344. This is like if you get the best of every single thing. So yeah, that's pretty difficult. Cadena doesn't have any drop rate or mezzo buff by itself, right?
I think we have a really small one. Like it gives like 2 extra mesos, like every bag.
Oh yeah, you have like a discount from shops and that one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, with like 2 mesos every bag.
Yeah, crazy. It doesn't register at all. Yeah, it's really weird. It was because of the... Did you notice that because of the Cadena bug? Well, because of that skill, you couldn't buy the droplets from the shop, right?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the buy?
Some people were like, yeah, and because we were in the guild or you were Cadena, the discount was trying to calculate for some reason. It was like, no, you can't have discount. Okay.
There used to be a different bug as well. Like when you buy from the arcane store when it just came out, you would get a discount, like on the arcane equips.
Okay.
Would be great, but they removed it. They fixed it.
And that would be a good game mechanic. People would just be like maining Cadena to get arcane gear faster.
Yeah.
And then trade it in non-reboot. They're like, oof, everyone has like a Cadena bossing mule to make to get more gear.
But it still says like 9 arcane river droplets. Did they buff it? Or like it's 9 on 1 now? Used to be 10 on 1.
Yeah, they did. So they changed that you only need 9 to make 1 coin, and also that the amount of coins per item went down as well. In like in the first like round of making arcane more achievable, and now the second round is making the droplets more common and the drops more common from the bosses, which is that's like a typical thing that they do once they want to make everyone like they want to push everyone towards higher level gear, and then that typically means that they're gonna release newer gear soon.
I got like 40 droplets while training to 250.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like from 245 to 250.
Okay.
It's insane. Like it's the same amount as all the levels before.
Yeah, it's the drop rate now is quite a bit better from what I heard. And then you'll get them as well if you train in the higher level area, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the spider will be your best drop rate guy. It'll be equivalent to 60%, so. Yeah, and then auto steal, and then your crit to... Yeah, okay. Symbols looking nice. Those dailies are coming along nicely, I guess.
Yeah, our Vanishing Journey is max tomorrow, I think. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, Asphera's max tomorrow. Vanishing Journey in like 4 days.
Yeah, they're both pretty close, right?
Yeah.
The Arcana. You mean Arcana, right? Asphera
Arcana,
and...
yeah.
And Asphera and Morass,
Asphera
you just kind of
and
like boost whenever you have boxes and stuff.
It would take 6 months if I do them every day.
Yeah, it's... The worst part is if you max everything and then the other two are like they just get to 17 or something. You're like, oh god, it's so much more.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to 18 and it starts all the way on the left side with 0 full again. It's like, no. It feels so bad. What are you clearing on Nakaline, the tower? Is it easy to run up?
95.
Okay. And do you do 95 every day or do you just do 90 and then?
I try to, but like most of the time I stop at 90.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, time efficiency wise, it's probably best to just do 90, clear, get out, and then just auto-complete the other two. Yeah, if you do have like guild skills and you have half-hour potions, and then you have the points saved up, you know how to climb with the bell and everything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. You could try it, and then if you get to like 95 or 96, it doesn't work, then basically just go back to just clearing 90 every day until you make some kind of big upgrade, right? Or there's like a giant, I don't know, maybe someone wants to domain you before you go in for a boost. I mean, that's how the people get the highest ranks, right? They climb very high and then they get someone to domain them and like big buffs before they go in. Otherwise, they can't even clear the floor that they're clearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, really min-maxy. That's to get their statue in the top 5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way to get the statue otherwise. Because other people do it. If you don't do it, then you won't be able to get that benefit, so... All right, let's look at the Legion. I'll open this in a second. Zoom a little bit. All right, what's your plan for Legion right now? What's next on the list? Or are you gonna stick to 6K for a while?
I gotta finish my Nightwalker. It's a terror burning, so I need to get him to 200. 178.
Yep. Same.
And then I still need to do this Jet. He's 166, but I really dislike Jet.
Have you done it recently?
No.
Because they were reworked.
Yeah, I gave it a fake lab because I had like a spare one. So it's quite strong, but still I just need to.
Yeah, there's actually unironically a few Jet mains in the chat because it is actually a lot more enjoyable to play now.
Okay, then I might give it another try.
Yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised compared to if you played it like a year ago or something. It's definitely a lot better.
Okay, because this is like, yeah, I think it's a year ago that I leveled into 166.
Around the winter time. Yeah, I think that's where you had the last the boxes, right?
Yeah, I like when I started giving out the boxes, I already had my Abs Lab on my main. So I got 2 of them on my dual blades, and like 1 on my Jet, and I think 1 on my Adele. No wait, do I? No, I don't think I do.
You might have gotten, yeah. I think there were 2 last summer and then 2 last winter as well. I think we had like double on both, so it's possible you got 4 in total. Yeah. Well, I guess the Adele has an X. Yeah, you can't really see it.
Yeah, I spent too much money on this game.
Yeah, you spent it's becoming problematic.
Like when they released the new inventory, like for the decoration, I took all my gear out of my cash shop and my inventory was filled. Like, and I wasn't even halfway. I was like, oh no.
Oh god. Yeah. NX Shoppers Anonymous is
Yeah.
It's getting a new member here. You just want your characters to look cute. I get it.
No, but like, look at my main. He doesn't really look cute.
I mean, he looks like something.
I know what you mean. That's what I'm going for as well.
It has a look, you know. It's
yeah.
It's not just a bunch of things thrown together, or like I think it was Kala who said like I want Maplehood Watch because I want all my characters to look like murder hobos. You know, like if you throw all of the Maplehood Watch NX together, it looks like some kind of random homeless person who just went to a thrift shop and checked what the thrift shop couldn't sell and then wore like all of those things together, and it's a really bad mismatch of styles.
Could always be worse. If you look at my Luminous, he lost his face some time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Oh yeah, I think I have 1 or 2 characters as well that just face doesn't show up anymore. I think my Thunderbreaker and my Night Lord both lost it, and then my Beast Tamer also lost it. But then I switched something and then I got it back, and now it hasn't disappeared. Yeah, Night Lord doesn't have it. Yeah, and the Thunderbreaker, both faceless.
I haven't logged into my Luminous like since I burned it, which is my first terror burning character, so that's like a really long time ago.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Max Mannetje.
Without an E, because...
Max Mannetje, yeah.
Too
many letters, yeah. Okay, Wind Archer is not your favorite?
I had this project to get like all the Sickness Knights to 200. They're so boring.
Yep.
Because some of them are fine, but like Nightwalker, it's so difficult to train because you only hit 1 target. And then Wind Archer, 3rd job is just, oh no.
You just have to fund it a little bit to move forward. Yeah. So you're getting most of the... Yeah, you have a bunch of stuff still at 120. Are you trying to get them all to 140 eventually?
Yeah, the ones I like, and the other ones I'll just wait for a burning event or terror burning to get them high up and get them funded a bit.
Or some AFK event, so like...
Yeah.
Boost them, yeah. And then when they're 160 or 170, maybe do a training session. Some leftover totems. Oh yeah, how's your totem management? Do you spend them all roughly all in the Cadena, or?
Last month I did. I was 1 short on getting 250, so I got really salty.
You had to wait until the new year.
Yeah.
For the 1 extra.
I had like 40% more to train. Without a totem, it would have taken like 4 hours.
Yep. And it would have felt bad the whole time Because you're just sitting there waiting for monsters to spawn so you can kill them.
I would probably just go to like a 100% burning map, like a really big one. And just
Yeah.
hate my life for like 4 hours.
Yeah. No, feel really bad. Distract yourself with some cookie dough ice cream and a nice movie or something.
Yeah. And that's the problem. If you go to a big map, you can't really watch anything on the side because you have to pay attention.
or your rates suffer even more.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the mobbing setup, and that's gonna like move around probably a little bit once you get the rank up, right?
Yeah. Probably get like stuff out of crit damage and put it into XP.
So in the bossing setup, you have crit damage filled, IED filled, and then line through the middle, and then whatever's left over in boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, seems fine. And then you're going to prioritize crit damage and IED when you remove the lines, and then a little bit in boss if possible, and then the more characters level up, the more goes into boss, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I got quite a lot of damage because of my weapon and just like.
Exactly. Yeah. If you do move everything around once you get to 6k, if you move the line that's going through attack now 1 down instead, you don't have to go through crit rate, but you can go straight from IED to boss damage, so it will save 1 space.
Oh, okay.
At the so you don't have to make the corner through crit rate. Just a little min-maxy tip. Yeah, if you're gonna redo it anyway, then might as well do it.
Yeah, I did it because the 250 thief, like piece, so awkward.
Well, you don't have a 250 mage yet. Have you seen that piece?
No.
I'll show you. We have the Legion. Not this one. Dude, my mom has 2 or 3 of these. Yeah, she has the bishop and the Kana piece, so that she has 2 of these pieces. Dude, this is the mage piece. Triple S.
Oh wow.
It's so awkward to throw it in anywhere. Like, you can't use it anywhere in the middle. It's always sticking out, so you have to use it somewhere on the side. And it's one of those you have to use immediately and then build everything around it.
I think like thief and mage are both like horrible.
Yeah,
like the other ones are okay.
The warrior is really easy. The marksman is super easy. The pirate can be pirate is okay. Yeah, the thief is yikes, and then the mage piece is like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's like the get away from me demon. It's basically a cross. Yeah. Is the Xenon piece the same shape as the pirate one, or the?
It's like both attributes. So once you look at it, that's like both of them combined. But I think it's a thief piece.
It's a hybrid of both. Oh god! Oh, the Xenon piece is also an abomination. Do you see it? The 250 Xenon piece looks like this. Oh no!
It's even worse.
Maybe it's worse. I don't know, between mage and Xenon, which one is worse? Xenon, no. The 200 Xenon, I think, is the same as thief, right?
The 140 one is. It's like just 3 pieces.
Yeah, but then the 250 is like what? Let's see if you can.
Not that bad.
Yeah, because we have all these other pieces. What if you take those away? Start. No solution found. You goddamn right. There's no solution for this. Look, it's even the shape of a piece, almost. Okay, we're getting off track. Okay. But yeah, you so your Legion, you'll just work a little bit more on now and mainly focus on events to get higher. But you don't have any like goal to hit 8k.
No, it took me way too long to get to 6k, so I'll just sit on this.
Yep. No, that's fine. Yeah, maybe you'll get some characters to 200, maybe some classes with good buffs to 210, like the Demon Slayer and the Luminous are at 200, so 210 would be nice, right? Demon Slayer 5% boss, 5 IED for the Lumi. Maybe the Arc. Did you like training it or no?
I left it at like 80 for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and then got it. It's been a long time since I tried it, so I don't know.
Because level 3 Link is quite nice. It can go up to 16% damage if you have it fully stacked. It's the highest percentage after the Demon Slayer with 20%. So that would be someone to also maybe consider. Or, if you don't have anything else to Terra Burn, you can get to 210 really quickly as well.
How do you like my Ho Young's name, by the way?
Ho Young.
It's on the same page as the arc. The first
Oh,
one.
here. Ho Nita. Nice. Very nice. Only the Dutchies will get it.
Only the Dutchies will get it.
Yeah. Unless we translate it to Ho Not Old, and then people will get it too.
That's true.
Okay, and then the familiar situation is pretty settled now as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we can go fully dive into equips, and we already have WSE kind of talked about. So emblem stays, W stays for now, and then the secondary goes to the other one, switches, yeah. So then you end up with a lot of boss damage lines. So like the ideal setup would probably be to switch to full 3-line attack on the Abzo. I think if you throw it into a calculator, of course that can be very expensive.
Yeah.
You can always try some black cubes if you're feeling the itch to see if you can upgrade.
I prefer focusing on my other gear.
Yeah. Exactly. Unless it works, dude. Unless it works. Did you see my emblem on my Demon Avenger?
No.
I had.
Oh wait, yes, you saw the video, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like it can happen. Like imagine you roll that,
Imagine.
And then just
My luck isn't that good.
Yeah, my cubing is typically kind of average, but then that was quite nice. Okay, so what is equip wise? So there's a 5, 10, 15 coming. What is something that you think would be a good idea for you to do as I go through everything here?
I want to get everything to 17. I have a few pieces still at 16. That's like the first thing I would want to do. And then get like the pieces I have a lot of spares on to 18. So the Abso and yeah, that's actually everything. I got a few the Chaos with the Abyss ones, and I got a few Abso spares. But I don't know if I want to use my money on my Absos, because I could just like level 150 gear, like the Ranmaru gear for the gloves and the shoulder, and like the antique root gloves, and the antique root boots.
Yes.
But, yeah. I don't know how to go about it.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on how far are you taking a character. Are you going to train the whole way? And I saw the badge and the rings, Pepe Hands. We have one guy in the chat who's a Xenon, so whenever he sees things like your badge, he has to cry. Oh, and the rings?
Two 3-line All-Star rings as well.
Okay. I guess he has a radar for that. He already saw it. I scroll past. Oh yeah, kind of treasure.
No, it's harder.
That's a lot of all-stat. Well, all-stat is really good for you, so.
Got like 150% in total on all my equips.
150% all-stat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more than most Xenons, probably.
Yeah, I got like 5k stat and all my other... I got like 5k int as well.
Nice. Without any base int.
Yeah, without any base int.
Yeah, so the question is, do you want to get to 17 then work on the other project, or try, like, what kind of money are you working with?
I got like 15 bills saved. And I'm still... I do Maple...
Tour?
Like Maple Tour like 7 times a day, because I spend too much money on this game. So I get like 2 bill a week. I'm still working on my Ghana farmer. It's 207 and like only 6k stats. It will be a while until I get like like decent drops, like on my Cadena.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's 26k.
No, it's 6k.
Oh, 6k. Okay, I was gonna say 26. That's a lot.
So arcane gear is probably gonna come from a drop if you clear Hard Lucid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the question is, how much do you need to upgrade your current gear to be able to do that content, versus how much do you want to upgrade your current gear to make that content easier to access, right? Because if you max out everything, you can spend all your money, and then you can kill the boss faster. And then if everyone else in the party does that, you can, do it faster. But you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can speed up the run, but you can't speed up how long it takes to get a drop. That's still the same variable. So if you do want to set money aside to make sure that your kind of farmer gets a, gets a decent boost and can start coming online to making you a lot more money, especially since you did indicate that you max out your totems, that means you do have some spare time where the Kana can be more efficient. I would focus on the long-term projects during a 5, 10, 15 where you're going for the item one level lower of an item that doesn't have like perfect 3 line yet, and then transfer hammer it over and then redoing the potential for the long term. And then you would look at items, either that or the CRA stuff, right? Because that's typically one where you have so many backups that you don't even need to safeguard. You could just send it.
Yeah.
And then you can reliably make gains. So those are like the 2 things I would focus on first before. There's a few items that get to 17, right? You probably want to just do those, but it's only like 3 or 4 items, I think.
Yeah, it's my all the right side of my earrings, shoulder, glove, and cape.
Yeah.
And badge, but I don't know if I want to risk my badge.
Yeah, you could safeguard it to 17, but it doesn't gain much, so that's a low priority. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, only if you have money left. Yeah. Because it's like what does it give, like 8 all-stat or something? Or maybe 10 actually, because I think it goes up to, I think Doof has a 22-star one, and that one gives 150 all-stat, which that's nice, but compared to all the other items and all the weapon and magic attack you can get, of course, that ends up being way better.
In my calculator, if I look at the stat comparisons, it says like one attack is close to 1% luck for me at this point. So that's one attack is like 24 luck, and 1% luck is 38. So it's really close. So if I get like 10 attack on all my equips, that would be.
Wait, one attack gives you 24 luck equivalent?
I'll send you a shot. Okay.
Oh, we found the second Xenon in the chat.
This is the comparison. At least what the calculator tells me. I'm not sure what they're getting everything from, but I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's how much range it gives you. So 1 luck gives you like sorry. Not how much range, but like 1 luck becomes 5.1 luck because of your multiplier. So 1 attack becomes 24, and then X stat behind it means how much luck is that. So it's like 4.76 a luck for 1 attack, but 1 luck is 5.1, so that translates to 24.26. So it like divides it for you.
Oh, okay.
But that's still more than I thought. I would think it will be closer to 4. But I guess that might have to do with your all-stat calculation and with your... Oh, that's probably...
I got like 6 lines of attack as well.
Yeah. Wait, is that with the new situation?
That's with the new situation.
With the secondary? Yeah. Because it would get even better. Interesting. It's higher than I thought. I thought it would be closer to 4, and then... Because for endgame, usually it's closer to 3.
Okay.
But maybe it's a bit different for Cadena. Maybe worth looking into. I'll make a mental note. And so 1% luck gives you 38.75 luck in the stat window, which is the equivalent of 7.6 luck, so that's lower. Is that because you have so much percentage all stat? Because that you would expect to be higher. So it is possible that because you're relying on so much percentage all stat and you quote unquote only have 6 lines of attack, that therefore the balance is off compared to where it usually is.
Oh.
So it's 1.6 attacks worth is 1% luck, and 1 luck is worth 0.21 attack. Huh. Yeah, and then the other ones are super low, but still something. Mm-hmm. 1 strength is worth 0.03 attack. Nice. Okay. It's good to know, though, because it does add up, of course. Yeah, I think the main thing with Cadena is that if you hit like top line all stat and then the other 2 luck, that's pretty close to just hitting 3-line luck, so you can keep that for a long time. But going full 3-line all stat is probably still significantly lower because of how much luck you're gonna get later on.
Yeah.
But it is definitely like mid game and early late game definitely good enough, and this should definitely get you to like Hard Lucid and all. But there's like min maxy stuff you can do with it later, and then keep it in the back of your head if you're gonna re-roll it. Of course, you kind of keep a mental note of what is the order that I would re-roll things in. But if you're gonna eventually re-roll it, Star Force is so much more important than potential. Potential is easier to regain. Star Force is very hard to regain. And it's very, very important. There's so much stat, so much weapon attack, right? So if there's a way to go lower level item, fodder it over, transfer hammer, and then redo your potential on an item that isn't set in potential yet, then that is, in the long term, a good idea to do. So I would mainly... So if you have Abzo backups, you could go to 18 Abzo. I think that's a good sweet spot to be in where you get a decent amount of attack, very low risk for booming. I wouldn't go beyond 18. I would rather risk going beyond 18 on stuff like your CRA and on the accessories, so that if you get into drops for Arcane, that you don't feel like you have to, replace something that's already so expensive that it's going to take you forever and 10, 20, 30, 40 billion per item before you can even move over.
Yeah, okay.
So the things that you will focus on is things like the belt is easy to get a bunch of ping beam belts, and then just when there's 5, 10, 15, you just send it.
I still have like 4 backups for before the Golix nerf of my belts. So what do you recommend then? Like go for this one or still go for the other route?
Yeah, that's a good question. What would your eventual goal be? Do you want to go to 22? Do you want to go to 21? Is 20 enough? Like, what do you...
I don't know. I think 21. Because 20 feels like just one more. Because you can't go down. Then, again, you have the 7% blow-up rate at 20.
So if you're in this situation, what would be the cheapest and kind of like the best? So there's like one is the most expensive and the lowest risk. One is the cheapest and the highest. One is the most expensive and the lowest risk. One is the cheapest and the highest risk, and then there's a middle ground. So one is you just do the Pig Bean belt to 22, you transfer it, and you have a 21 superior, right? That's the lowest risk for your belts, and that's also the most expensive one. Then the cheapest one is that you do the Pig Bean belt to 21. You transfer it over to... the cheapest one would be you do it on the belt itself, and you get it to 21, and then you keep it. But that's the highest risk. And then the middle ground is you get the Ping Bean belt to 21, you transfer it, and then you try 20 to 21 on the superior. And because you have 4 backups, you can do that. If it blows up, you have to make another Ping Bean, but there's a very good chance that it works 20 to 21, and then it's like the best of both worlds. So those are your 3 options that you can choose.
So I could just try to get this, and once it blows up, just put 1 backup on it, go for a Ping Bean.
Yeah, you just try one go, and if it like blows up, it goes back down and then blows up 16 to 17 or something. Like you could also choose whether you safeguard or not, right? That's another option that you can make it more expensive or more risky with. It's all about finding what kind of risk are you willing to take for how much money. But those are your main options, yeah.
Okay.
And if you have 4 backups, you can make some mistakes and it won't be too punished. So I think that's a good idea to just try it one time, and if it blows up, you can even try it 2 times, and if it blows up before 20 twice, then you're like, okay, I'll just send it, keep one final backup in case, totally goes wrong, and then go 22 transfer. Or you can say, I'm trying once, if it blows up, I'll just try 20 and transfer, because then if you get super unlucky, blows up again, you'll still have another backup, in case, yeah. So your options can change as you get your outcome.
Okay.
And it's a safe item to do because it's 2-line luck, which is of course nice for now, but eventually you will reroll, so no huge loss there.
Yeah.
CRA is super safe to do it with. What some people even do if you have a lot of pieces is just open up all of the pieces first, and see if you get something with nice flames. That way you can save money on flames as well.
Okay.
Because every piece is a free roll, right?
Yeah, I got one piece. Like I think it's my pants. No, it's my chest. That has a really nice flame. 52 and 5 all set.
52 and 5, that's really nice, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, if only I wasn't mage, would have been better.
Yeah, 68 and 5. That's a nice roll. I think I got something like that on my marksman or something. It's like, nice. I mean, I would have liked that on my main, but I think my Adele has like the same pants as my arc. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, and this is my second iframe as well. My chest, 4% chance to become invincible.
Does that only works if you get hit or something by regular damage, not by percentage damage, right?
I don't know. It's really nice in jump quests.
Yeah, because that does like flat amounts of damage. I think it only can trigger on flat amounts, so that's why for bossing it doesn't do much. Sadly, but it's still 21 on top of that, so and tops aren't super easy to cube anyway. Yeah, because your flames on your CRA aren't like the highest, so you could decide to do that and just open up a bunch before, see if you get one with a really sick flame, and then Starforce that one instead. That's what you could do. Of course, you lose your initial investment of 17 that you already have, but you could work on that project on the side without ending up with nothing. You can like YOLO send it until you're with nothing, but then you still have your old stuff to fall back on, and you won't get weaker. But then once you get
advise me to get it to 18 stars before I try that, or just
because
18 on Rubabez isn't that expensive, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's the other option. Is like, do you go for 18 on everything, or do you do everything 1 star at a time, or do you like try to send some items straight up and then do the switch? Mm-hmm. That kind of depends from item to item. Yeah, when it comes to getting like your Abzo and your CRA to 18, you could do that. But if you do a lot of smaller projects like that, that does end up costing you a lot of money in total, and that could take money away from like one or bigger project like the belt, for example.
Okay.
And then you kind of have to look like if you're getting 3 stars on all of CRA, but that means that you can't get a total of 4 stars on the belt, then that will end up being lower gains because every further star is more than the previous stars. So the total stats will end up being more. So that kind of comes down to how much money do you have and how unlucky are you getting. If you blow up 1 or 2 Abzo items up to 18, then you're like, okay, you're going to be more conservative with your money.
Yeah. Okay.
So it comes down to like feeling out the options. The thing with the I'm not sure. The thing with the CRA and everything, maybe if it's already legendary and already 17 stars, that might be a bit too expensive to do. It's probably better to just flame it later and then get a little bit better flames. It's maybe better advice if your stuff is like epic or unique and it's just 15 stars now, then maybe that's a better... I think you're already pretty far in for that to be a good option for you, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, you can YOLO open a few and see if you get something nice and then feel bad about not doing it, or... what if you open one up and it's literally like 120 flame score or something, you can be like, no, I want this one instead, and then just dedicate. But you don't have the option, of course, to Starforce first and then transfer. Then you just lose it. That's a little unlucky because of how the system works.
Yeah.
Sadly, you could do it with Abzo, but you can't do it with. I mean, if you're you can already, do the flame on the Abzo before you transfer hammer, and then it's fine. But you can't do it for something like this, sadly. Yeah, all the other stuff is 17, and then you would. Yeah, you could go. Yeah, you could go one at around to 18, or you could go individual projects. That's
Okay.
I would guess if you get everything to 17 and then you start 18 and your first two blow up, you'll probably be like, maybe I'll just keep what I have, focus on one project, because then you're blowing up, right? You're like mentally prepared to blow it up a few times because you know it's going to happen if you're going for 21. Mm-hmm. But if you're aiming for 18, it's like, oh, the blow chance is so low, and then it does happen, it just feels worse, even though you know it can happen. You're kind of still expecting it not to.
Yeah.
So yeah, depending on where your mental is, that can change your idea.
Like you use the ping beam belts for the belt, and you can use all the other pieces I have are like for the absolute pieces.
Yeah.
Like boots, glove, and the shoulder and the other glove.
The other armors, yeah. The other options for doing like the lower ones and transferring over, the other options would be more for your accessories. So for the pendants, you could do dominators. For the eye in the face, you just have to get backups, right? For the earrings, you can get reinforced earrings. And then for the rings itself, it's all about the solid rings and the Meister rings.
With my luck, getting dominators is harder than getting superior.
Yeah,
gotten one in the past 2 years.
That's not great. You have drop rate gear even, right?
Yeah.
Well, once you start using the spider with the drop rate coupon from, do you use Legion drop rate coupons?
No.
Because they stack with familiar drop rate. So what I usually do is I take the spider familiar, and then I take a 10-minute coupon, and then I do like the daily bosses with good drops, so like normal Arc, and then I do normal Magnus for the soul shards, and normal Queen and Vellum for the soul shards, and then sometimes Ramaru, if maybe if you do like 1 or 2 weeklies in the coupon, if you can do that, and then you do a few of them every day, so that you always have coupons on. I think that greatly increases your chances for them, and you'll see some primals every now and then. But yeah, they are rare for sure. Yeah.
Got on 1 primal. That's from a vein, not even
nice.
Arc.
Yeah. Arc is also like a numbers game, right? So if you have more characters that can kill Arc every day, that definitely increases your chances for more primals. Because the other thing is, so the one thing is solid ring, and then you can transfer, if you get it to 20, you can transfer into reinforced and into Kana treasure without risking booming those to get to 19.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is high star Meister to improve the current one and to transfer hammer into superior.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so one of them is primal gated basically, and then the other one is coin gated. So you'll have to choose: do you get backup of the accessories, or do you go for the lower ones, transfer over, and then the solid ring is not that expensive. I think it's like 200 coins or something.
You could get like 3 of them in. For the same amount of coins, you could get 1 superior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just takes a long time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you have 1 20-star solid, you can keep that one first, of course, for your damage, right? Before you transfer it over. You can choose to do that as well. And then...
Solid is my drop.
Mm-hmm. But you can have 1 for drop and 1 for damage, right? You can have 2 of them now, as long as they don't go into the same set. Because the reinforced is also, also repurchasable. So if you're gonna gamble anything between reinforced and Kana treasure, if they're on the same, always gamble the reinforced first, because you can always just buy it back and retrace.
Yeah. Okay.
And then pendant, and then hopefully, you have the Wonder Heart. That's nice. And you're working on the Monster Parker Metal.
Yeah.
And how's the dinero situation?
I started it up again because like a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to level my vessel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just leveled it up yesterday to like level 2.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like level 10 for way too long.
Well, in the beginning, a lot of people just use the easy method, just spamming the lower voyages, and then it doesn't really matter to level up. You're just mostly just, you know, trying to get your accessories and get out, basically. But if you're going for the long term, then yeah, leveling it up is the way to go.
Yeah, so I'm at like 140 coins after the level up. And it's level 2.
Yeah, leveling up the other one to level 10 takes quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's the main thing. Yeah, the other backups for the Abzo, I wouldn't fill up my inventory with that too much because they drop like a lot now, right? And it's really only, I think, if you want to send your Abzo into 20 or higher. And I just don't know if the current climate and with how strong you already are, I don't think that's the move for you. I think it's better to focus more on the accessories and kind of leave the Abzo around 18, and then once you get the arcane stuff, then you can just fully go hard on the arcane stuff to make sure that you can do like the full switch over. Because if you have 18 Abzo, you just switch over to 17 arcane, it's already a huge upgrade.
You get 100 arcane symbols from both types in the Neo shop, right?
Yeah, 100 from both, yeah, which is crazy. That's like 2 free items, basically. All you have to do is make sure you get enough will clears by then, so you can turn them into coins.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you guys are already that strong, that level, you can definitely already start practicing. Because the first few runs are going to be like torture anyway. So it's better to have it be torture when you're not at the level yet, rather than be torture when you feel like you should already be able to clear. Because then, again, your mental comes into play and it feels worse.
Oh, okay.
Because if your expectation is like, oh, we probably won't reach the 3rd phase anyway, and we're just, you know, trying to get used to the mechanics, then it's fine and it's fun. But if you're like, okay, we actually have the damage and the levels, we should be able to clear this boss, and then you start failing at phase 2, then yeah, I can tax you a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll talk to the party.
Yeah.
They're probably for it.
Yeah, everyone has to be down, of course. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else I forgot? Any questions you had?
We got over everything. Got the gear, familiars.
Any piece of equipment?
IED was pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a lot of IED. Many people like are a little bit short on IED. If you gave all the people who were short on IED like 2 lines, and then everyone would be like at the same level almost. I think it's because your familiars, 30% on your familiars is huge, and that takes a lot of pressure off of your weapon secondary and emblem.
Okay. Then we covered everything, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. The Legion, yeah, you're at 6k. You're gonna be ranked that up. Move the pieces around. You know about the drop rate with the familiars, how it stacks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Well then, I wish you the best of luck, and yeah, I have a little video for Will with like the mechanics. It's good to have a little bit of baseline, but it's gonna sound easy, and then when you do it, it's gonna feel hard. You just have to, fail a few times and notice how you need to move. It's normal.
Watch the video like 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an instruction video, and I also have the boss fight itself, of course. But yeah, people have said before that they watch me do the boss and that it looks so easy, and then they do it and it feels so hard, and yeah. That's exactly how I felt the first time. I watched the video and I was like, oh, it's not that hard. And then I did it and I was like, wait, what the fuck? It is hard. And then once you get used to it, it's like, oh no, it isn't hard. Yeah, so. Yeah,
when I looked at the HP of Will, I was like, yeah, it's lower than...
yeah, it's way lower, yeah.
Low HP, so maybe we could clear.
Yeah. Well, you're gated by how quickly you can move through with the tests and everything. You have to have someone... that's definitely important to have someone keep track of the timers and always know when the tests are. So... The first test starts 1 minute and 10 seconds after you enter, so at around 28:50. And then for phase 1, and then the test is every 2 minutes. But the more tests you do, it slows down a little bit. So it's like 2 minutes and 1 second kind of. So it always slows down a little bit more on the timer. But you have to be in the same like side as the crack, otherwise everyone dies. So you have to make sure that around the time everyone starts paying attention for the eye, so you can switch if you need to. Especially in the beginning, if you need to switch a few times more, because you won't be able to just, kill both sides and then just relax and wait for the eye to pop up and then kill both sides and just relax and wait. It's going to be when you're in the heat and moment and you're bursting, someone has to be like, yo, timer. Like, yeah, that's a tricky one in the beginning. And then for phase 2, it's more of a flexible timer where it just starts when you reach a certain HP, and then you kind of set the timer for the next for that phase. So that can be any timer. So someone really has to look at it.
So a lot of mechanics.
Yeah, a lot of mechanics, and then with Moonlight and everything. So you want to definitely want to do normal will first, just to practice the Moonlight mechanic.
Okay.
And then once you can basically do normal almost without ever using Moonlight, very, very rarely using it, then you can move over to Hard Will. Because in Hard Will, basically, some things do a little bit more damage, but it's basically the same boss fight with just more HP. Except for the Moonlight recovery is way lower. And if you do normal and you're just constantly switching and just using Moonlight all the time, and then you go into Hard Will, it's going to be like a completely different boss. Because it's almost like you get nothing. So you have to get used to doing normal without relying on Moonlight.
Okay.
Yep. So once everyone feels confident with that, then you can move on.
Thanks.
All right. Yes. Best of luck. I hope your party clears fast and that everyone gets many, many arcane drops.
Probably after 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, right after, like the day after, like drops. You get a drop. You get a drop. Yeah. Look how much money you could have saved. Yeah. Or right after everyone spends all their money and then and then still get it. Yep.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you around. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, cool. I think right on time. Yeah, we were on time. We got through everything. Man, did this boy have a lot of ID or what? He's like, my ID is still only 98. I'm like, you do realize how much 98 visual ID is, right? But yeah, like the end game is that you try to get this. You try to get these numbers. Maybe a little bit higher on boss, but you try to get these numbers. But you'll have way more percentage weapon and magic attack to back it up so that this number goes to like, I don't know, like 200 mil or something. You know, visual to 100 minus 1, but actual will be over 200. Will Scardor read this message? Don't count on it. Oh, 8-ball was wrong. I read it. But yeah, so we went through the calculator, you know, looked at all the numbers, took some numbers out, and if he fit, the other things are going to be fixed later on, and he'll still be at 97.3 functional just by himself. That's really, really good. That's high up there. Like, and if you want to boost it past that, there are some temporary sources that you can use for Black Mage so that you're at 98 or something. But you'll probably have a 0 in the party who gives you the 50%, which means you go to 98.2 or something. So you're fine. So yes, if you like this, I'm glad, and I'm happy that you enjoyed it. And if you want one of these sessions as well, check the description of the YouTube video. Or if you have any smaller questions, just catch me live on Twitch. And